So finally, ARK has fixed the major issue that a lot of players have been having. Whenever I say ARK have fixed something, obviously it's like, is it going to be actually fixed? I guess we'll find out now the patch is out there. But we're going to be reading through what's been fixed. It's already been released on the Steam already. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, feel free to drop a like and subscribe if you're new around here. Come and join us in the LoadedCrysis cluster for free ARK servers. Link is in the description down below. So let's get straight in with things. Now, it came out on the PC first, but it is now out on console if it ever decides to load. And as you can see, we'll click on Xbox, it's the same on PlayStation. They said, resolved some cases where player characters, structures, creatures, and other game objects would go invisible or occasionally flicker. This will be monitored and iterated on further if needed. So this is where I get worried, right? Because they say that this is fixed, which has been a real ongoing issue for a very long time. But then you get worried, right? Because you see that last bit. You see that last bit there and it says, this will be monitored and iterated on further if needed. So, I mean, I did a TikTok the other day talking about this and I've seen some responses that I don't know. Maybe this is people talking about it being, you know, before they've jumped back on ARK again. So please do let me know in the comment section down below if this has solved the issue you are facing. You know, when it comes to ARK, there could be anything that pops up at any point, but I really hope this is at least sorted out the major part of this update. Now, I have had a lot of questions saying, Dom, where is the major update coming this week? And obviously it's still early days. I know you guys are hungry for this new update, especially PlayStation players. I know you're waiting for the mod storage update, but unfortunately at this moment in time, Studio Wildcard are silent on this, which I guess people say no news is good news, but all we can do is sort of sit and wait for the update. Hopefully it comes this week. It's still, as I said, early days, and hopefully it will come later on. I know people are worried because the Asterisk OSD build radius changes, which were scheduled for, it was the 15th of July last week. I know that didn't end up coming. Wildcard decided to push it with the major patch, which is meant to be coming this week, so don't panic yet. I will let you guys know if it's ever time to panic, but right now it's still early and hopefully we'll see the patch soon. Now, as for ARK Aquatica, you know, I've been covering this and so many people keep talking to me about this situation because obviously it's a bit of a sad one, and you know, and I completely understand it. I understand how people are feeling. By the looks of things, the game, since they've allowed players to go to this like pre-beta version, has started to rise again. So they dropped really low player count, the lowest player count it's ever hit probably since the game launched. And then since, I think it was Studio Sirens allowed players to basically sort out a pre-Aquatica patch version, the game has shot back up to like the 32,000 player mark, which, don't you think, when you think about that, how dedicated this fan base is to playing the game? This is the old version we're talking about right now. You know, and obviously a lot of people have moved over to ASA, but there's still so many players that still enjoy playing this version of ARK, which is completely understandable. But it is so crazy. I mean, Xbox, PlayStation players that still play this version, I know there's not as many because with ASA they get mods and stuff now, but they haven't been, you know, they're not affected because it's not crossplay. Yeah, it's been a rough time. I think I sit here now, you know, looking at these reviews has now dropped to 12%. You know, a lot of people saying, you know, enough, all of it. And I the one thing I feel about this, and a lot of people have asked me to give my opinion on this situation, is that, you know, as I said, the Studio Sirens team put a lot of work into this. You know, they weren't really given the foundations they needed. And it's a shame for me because I definitely will keep up on what they will do in the future, because I think they did do a good job with what they were given at that time. But this, I mean, is this not enough to show you how the community's feeling? And this isn't talking about Studio Sirens, this is talking about Snail. You know, our amazing Survival Evolved game that gave us so many memories, and this DLC was given with a music video, which again, a lot of you guys have said to me, Dom, have you seen the music video for ARK Aquatica? And yes, I saw the music video. I know it was full of AI, but obviously no hate to anyone that performed, you know, in that video, because they were paid, they got their money, and that's fair enough. But it doesn't change from the fact that, you know, this was a total shambles and it shouldn't have happened. And it's sad to see, you know, this is now going to have like a stain on the, you know, ARK Survival Evolved. When people look back, you know, they see the beautiful DLCs that we had right from the beginning. You know, even right from the start, let's say 10 years ago when the island was born, you know, and moving into Scorched, moving into moving into, you know, Extinction, and then just the journey along that sort of couple of years that we had together. And then this sadly has to have its name printed on all of that. It's really upsetting. You know, I don't feel like Studio Wildcard could have really had a word on this situation, because, you know, Snail are probably, you know, I know there's a lot of you guys out there that have a bit more information on the contracts and stuff regarding it. I do know a lot about it, you know, about how Wildcard needed someone to save them in a situation. Snail came in and saved them in that situation. But it really does show, I think, with this DLC, how out of touch they are with the community. And it's really sad to see. I mean, I don't really know how much money has probably been made from this DLC. I can't imagine much, which is really sad, because, you know, if you thought Studio Sirens could have been a good DLC, maybe get them in on something for ASA, you know, something that's helping our brand move forward. And I say our brand, I know it's their brand, but I say it as our brand because, you know, even though I do content, we've all been part of this community for such a long time, and we feel so close to it, which is such a shame about this. But anyway, we move forward, and that's all you really can do. Obviously, as I've said in past videos, Survival Ascended has still got a long way to go within the Steam reviews. But obviously, since the Ragnarok DLC launch, you can clearly see what a jump this game has had. I'm not saying, you know, it's just DLCs that make this happen. It does tend to be the DLCs that make it completely jump. But within the past DLCs, when they've launched, they've had a massive spike, and it's just gone like straight down. Whereas what you can see with a brilliant map created with Ragnarok, which I'm not saying it's brilliant, completely brilliant, there's still issues with it, but they nearly hit the 50,000 player mark, and there's been some drops, and then obviously on the weekends, a lot of players have been returning, and that has been the case. You know, like the most recent Sunday, there was nearly 38,000 players that still playing the game, and we haven't seen this kind of, you know, in the week, players can't, you know, everyone works, is what it is, and then on the weekends, people want to get their ARK fix, and yes, that does come down to PvE, where you get a bit more time to yourself. A lot of ARK players used to play PvP back in the day, and it was just like crazy times. You know, you think it's time to log off, and then all of a sudden Parasaur goes mad or something. But, you know, with this, it's good to see, and I look forward to the future of Ascended. Now, as I mentioned earlier, do I think Ascended is in its most beautiful, perfect place? No, I don't. But with the response of Ragnarok, it's a step in the right direction, with maps being made in the Unreal Engine 5.5 version. And I hope, as we move forward, we got Valguero to look forward to next. We've got Lost Colony, which no one's ever seen before. The first paid canonical expansion pack in December. And then next year, I'm going to call 2026 the year of Genesis, because obviously that is the year we dive back into the completely revamped no, I'm joking, wildcard, don't get annoyed with me, but version of Genesis, where they said that, you know, they weren't happy with the way Genesis went out in the first version, and they said that it needs the proper TLC it deserves. So I look forward to it. Apparently the missions are going to be kind of scrapped from what they used to be, and you know, they're going to give players something that the map actually deserves. So far, I have to say, again, may get hate for this, but a lot of the DLCs that Wildcard have done, they've done well. They've still got a long way to go. You know, ARK deserves to be up there. It does. But obviously, with the constant issues with the game, it's made it struggle. So hopefully, we look forward to the future. We might see something a little bit more special. Again, I'm not going to hype everything up. Play it if you want to play it. You know, a lot of people say to me, Dom, come on, man. We've done this for years, and I know it. So play it if you want to play it. But Rag was a good sign, and I want to see more of that. Anyway, that's going to be the end of the video. If you guys did enjoy, drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one very soon. See you guys then.